Hi. So, as the title suggests, we are going to be doing flat colors today and talking why do them, how to do them, how to keep them consistent, and why, and what's wrong with not doing that. It's very, I would say, important to keep them same. And I'm talking about local colors. I'll explain, I guess. So local colors is how the object looks with just some normal white colored light source from how to say it, not direct light but more like ambient, so in absolutely neutral circumstances how it would look like, what it's like, just what's the pigment on it. And then when you shading, it changes according to if it's in shadow, what color is the light source, what color is like secondary light source or ambient light or whatever. But keeping them same, like the same object has the same local color throughout the whole comic, is better just for visual consistency and for just reads better for the viewer. Like, there are some surprisingly popular comics that don't do that, when you see just jumps between colors for the same person or same object, and it looks just jarring because it's not hard to keep them similar, and there is no in-world explanation why they would jump around, but there is just knowing that different people colored it or something. So what I do, I just keep some maybe separate file, or like this, I just keep my colors that I sample when I'm doing flats, and then I also use them for shading, and they're mix and make the overall page kind of look consistent with all the other pages in the chapter. And of course they change from chapter to chapter, from scene to scene. That's depends on where we are, what time is it, what time of the day, what, I don't know, environment we are, and so on. But before I start doing flat colors, I need some details for my inks that I just finished. Well, I was going to do that earlier, but well. So I saved the best part just for the stream. It's patterns. Patterns are I just drawing them. So if you read my comic, you you know that this character has some lace accessories on his uniform, so I'm gonna draw them. But right now I noticed something. I kinda was editing a little bit this inks, and I think he, because of that, his proportion kinda became a little bit wrong. Part of it is because I was moving things around, the kid was sitting a bit closer, but I kind of wanted to give a little bit more space, and from this angle it seems like his shoulders are kind of too narrow, even though it's in perspectives, but I don't know, I should maybe fix it a little bit, and maybe like this, I don't know. I feel like his head is too big, kinda, but that's just his hair mostly. But I guess I'll make it a little bit smaller just so it looks better. Maybe a little bit like this. Yeah, it's better. I think. Maybe, I don't know. So, patterns. First, it's his color. Should I change? No. I thought I have a little bit bigger brush than this, but no, it's okay. So, since it is kind of wide shot, it's not very visible in details on his collar, but on his cuffs it's more, they're bigger, so it's easier to see. It's very simple geometrical pattern, just triangles inside triangles and like all the way down. I also can't like detail them too much because it's still kind of small scale. Kind of nice. I really like drawing them. I will also be recoloring some of the inks. Again, since it's a limited palette, I color a lot just in black, and I need inks to stand out in these black parts. So while I'm doing that, I guess I can kinda talk a little bit about how to keep consistent palette. Well, I don't know, it's pretty obvious. Just use either some programs, drawing apps and so on, have these functions for keeping the palette. Just save them, like in Photoshop you have swatches, and like in many other apps also there is similar option, but since I'm doing it in Procreate, and again this is a limited palette, I don't need it. I just transfer this from just page to page, basically. Just copy that, paste in the next one, and we're going. For my first comic, that's full color, and like most of the stuff from there is like here in the slideshow. Not the current one. The current one is from this comic. It'll change now. Here, no, it's not. It's an illustration. Anyway, most of the stuff that's in slideshow is like from previous comic. It was for full color, and I kept like separate file, just PNG with just squares for everything, and colors that is important, I think, to keep consistent. Well, obviously skin tones, because normally your characters have skin of different color, even if they all like of same race. They can't be like all the same identical skin color. There will be variations. So also the color of like their eyeballs, I mean eyes, eyeballs, of their hair, of their like the clothes. Usually what I did, when I was designing characters, I just designed several outfits for them, chose colors for that, kind of keeping everything in each character kind of style. Like some of them prefer some colorful stuff, some prefer monochrome, some prefer like very bright colors, some prefer more like muted, some prefer more kind of earthy tones, and so on, and kind of save all that, and then use it throughout the whole comic. Sometimes I would add if like some other character shows up, or I also kept colors for every chapter. Like there was some long chapters, so I needed to keep the palette for my light sources, like what color is like backgrounds and all of that. And it was pretty easy to use. I just dropped that PNG on like every file inside, like on separate layer, and once I'm like did flats, I would delete that from my page file and then kind of go from there. Yeah, it was pretty fast, and it helps to keep the overall look of the comic very consistent and just kind of, it's sequential art. It should keep the illusion of that it's the same place, the same people, the same object, the same everything, just kind of changes their positioning with time and like action and movement and all of that, but keeping the consistent colors allows the viewer, the reader, to follow what's happening, because if you have different colors for everything in every single frame, you can't really understand what's going on and where is every character, what they're doing. Okay, I did that. Now I need to change color for the inks in the spots that will be black. So I use pretty much every drawing app has this function, alpha lock. It can have like different names. For Photoshop, I think it's transparency lock, but the same alpha is transparency. It's like the different name for the same thing. And also I will need a little bit of different background right now, because well, you'll see in a moment, I'm using the color of just background, as in this background color, like this gray, to colorize the inks. And there are like also many ways to colorize inks if you need it for whatever reason, maybe for the same as like I do right now, or for some other one. I'm using alpha lock just because it saves me layers, as I keep talking about. Procreate sadly has layer count limits, kind of strict, and I should probably mention that it is the problem for old iPads. I have iPad Pro from like 2017, so it's kind of old-ish now. It's like 6 years old, so it has like memory limitations. So I shouldn't have done that. Okay, so this will be a red part, so I don't need to colorize. I just need kind of separation between black parts. And it's kind of annoying. Normally flats is very mindless process, but sometimes you kind of need to remember some stuff to do it correctly. But mostly it's very easy. Okay, I'll do that. I'll probably... do I need... nah. So since these characters' robes are mostly black with red accents, I need a lot of this colorization. It's annoying. It's kinda, this part is really annoying to do, but I haven't figured out some alternative yet. I guess I'll just do it for consistency like that. Oh, this is also black. This is also. I hope I will find some maybe faster way to do this, but right now I kind of have to do it by hand. Also, the thing that I also mentioned before, sadly, doing flats in Procreate isn't ideal solution, because it doesn't allow for to switch off anti-aliasing, so all lines are smoothed on the there, like as you can see, you can't have very sharp edge between lines. It's always this kind of half transparent pixels, and when you use bucket fill for that, it just creates a lot of very dirty edges. So I'm doing all the flats manually. Once I get there, you'll see. It is not ideal, it's not fast, but it's kind of meditative process, so I can just switch off my brain and just go for it. And also I need to color some other type of objects here. Like these gemstones should be white, so I inked them in black just to do it faster. So I inked everything in black, then now I'm recoloring it. And what is happening there is, if you looking at like what is drawn here, we are having a kind of a conflict here finally. So in this chapter, if you saw like the already published episodes, this priest character, well, he's not priest, but like he's cleric, I should say, boarded a train, and he's going on his like new assignment, and on the train he was kind of left alone to his own devices. Nobody wanted to sit near him because, well, people kind of prefer to avoid them, avoid clerics. You normally, like in normal life, you don't need to interact with them, just like in real life. I'm joking, but I'm not, but I'm joking. Anyway, so he was kind of left alone, chilling there, just doing his business. Then this lady with the kid showed up because there was no other place to sit. Kid was very interested, very curious, started to ask questions, and well, it kind of led to a bit of a disagreement between the parent and the cleric, because they started to talk religion, and oh boy, you know how it goes. So now they're having a bit of a discussion here. And like, even though this religion here is kinda has actual like powers and miracles and whatnot, and like actually does something other than, I don't know, emotional support for those who like that type of stuff, even then people kinda not always agree with some other stuff that this particular church does. Like they have healing powers, which is very useful, and that's why they exist basically. That's why society kind of keeps them around, because they can just magically heal people. But there is also some other stuff here. I do not know why I explain this, honestly. Like, if you're watching this, you're probably reading the comic. But anyway. So yeah, they're kind of having an argument here. And this is part of the episode. Like, I separated the one big long file into separate just to have enough layers, so it's not like the whole thing. There will be some stuff happening in this episode that isn't that I'm not showing it now, but there will be like we will understand why this lady is like feeling a certain type of way about church and the stuff that the cleric saying, because he's kind of judgmental, obviously, and she's kind of judgmental about him being judgmental. So if they just kept quiet, it would have been a nice chill ride on the train, but well, they didn't. And this scene is kind of serving partially as an exposition to like explain some ideological stuff, and also it kind of shows the character a little bit more. Like we already saw him like killing people, and now we're seeing him kind of talking about it, basically, how he kills people. Not that he thinks of himself like that, like he's like killing anybody. He has a perfectly neat excuse to do that. And kinda he's not completely wrong. So I guess it's up to the viewer what to think about it and who's right in this particular case, even though lady seems very like aggressive and stuff. She's just speaking her mind, and she kind of has the right to do so. And the like next couple pages kind of becomes understandable why. But here they just kind of shouting at each other, and the kid is upset, obviously. Yeah, this is taking kind of a long time, which I'm not a fan of. I don't know, maybe I should just draw it right away in this color, and so I don't have to like recolor all the inks. But I'm not sure it's faster. Maybe not. Okay, I kinda did. I'll still need to do it for his hair, because his hair is also black. Well, parts of them are kind of not black. But I will probably start with skin tones. So, flats. How we do them? Just normal layer. Just normal solid brush and just go for it. Since I will be recoloring parts of the character, I don't need to be very precise with like borders when it's like on the character still, but I need to be kinda careful with outlines here, so I don't go overboard. Also, I think she needs to have a line here. I forgot to draw that here. And she has a turtleneck like the priestess in the second chapter, because it's like popular style here. There's like, you probably noticed already, here in this setting, people are really like some weird collars and some neck accessories. The kid's collar is also kinda all over the place. My kid is sad. Poor kid. Well. What else is this color? Need to reference it probably. I also forgot some other stuff here. Also, the one thing I will be using for just to keep consistent with colors is to always reference the already drawn pages, just so you won't end up with, for example, character having like their coat or their like some other cloth elements or accessories different color between different pages. So if like they have some if this coat, for example, is like dark gray in one scene in one page and like light gray in the next one, it's not good because it's, well, very noticeable and kind of throws the reader off from the story and into like, oh, the artist forgot to color it properly. So it's kind of important, like consistency doesn't like doesn't make everything like noticeably better. It's just not having it makes it noticeably worse. Like with many other things, like with lettering, nobody pays attention to lettering unless it's bad. If it's bad, then it's instantly noticeable. If it's good, like it's normal. It's as it should be. And it's pretty much with every aspect, I think. If it's good, you just kinda don't notice it and read the story and like enjoy it. But if something is off, the brain kinda notices it and you get out of the story and into just, oh, I'm looking at something that isn't correct. Like right now, what is it? What's wrong with this neck? How did I do that? My god. I think this should be longer, for example. Should cover part of her, this turtleneck. They should go over it and just like that. It's probably was the same like brain fart moment when your brain stops seeing the whole picture and just focuses on one part, because like from this angle this face kind of looks small, but it's just because it's angled very specifically. It does look weird, yeah, but I kind of wanted it a bit look a bit cartoonish and like very it's very obvious expression. Kinda reads better, I think, and I also kinda wanted this composition again with like one big panel, and I kinda do that sometimes. In one of early streams, I remember I was explaining like why I would put the elements not like in perspective but more of like just flat planes, just kind of next to each other, not in correct perspective but more like symbolically. Just I think it's kind of interesting placement of elements, and it allows to show the dialogue maybe a bit more concise, I don't know, more so I don't have to spend like 5 panels on the same stuff. Like it could have been like, I don't know, 3-4 panels, But here, showing them all together, I kind of show that they all participate instead of just headshot after headshot like this. Like, it's kind of makes sense to mix it up a little bit from time to time. So if the whole like page is just headshots, it is commonly known as floating heads and or talking heads, and that's kind of boring. But again, if like sometimes it's not nothing wrong with that, but sometimes it is. I guess I'll just do white right away for like eyeballs. I sometimes do that instead of waiting to color like other characters' skin tones. I just slap white where I need it, despite that I didn't get to him yet, but I'm kinda... it's faster to do in one go. So she has like teeth here, and that's it. Yeah. I rarely draw the like open mouth, so I prefer like to draw teeth. I don't like this insides, but well, sometimes it's important. Like she's like shouting like really loudly, so at he's more like... so she's angry, like, how we call it? There can be like this hot burning anger or very cold, and these two characters have different approach to it, I guess. Like she's like actively angry, just enraged, and he's also kind of enraged by the end of it, but like he keeps it cool. But he's very like, how to call it, just very toxic, I would say, very patronizing and like just evil, I'd say. Here which color is... yeah, I need to look at the previous episodes. I kinda think I remember how I colored it, but just in case, it always makes sense to check if it's correct. I hope the music isn't too loud. I feel like today it's kinda a bit too much. Maybe I should... okay, now it's gone. I just made it a little bit. Okay, that's it. What was I doing? Yeah, I was trying to open the previous page. Where do I have the lady and the kid in the same frame? Here. Yep. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, so... actually, I probably should first cover the cleric. I don't have swatch for him, I just remember it's 60 gray, which I probably should save it as a swatch. It'll be faster. Oops, I went over white here. So he's a little bit more tan than them, like they were pale. They don't see much sun, and he's a bit more... wouldn't call him dark-skinned necessarily, but he kind of more, a bit more tanned, I would say. And like, this way to do flats isn't effective. Normally, it's the fastest way is, I believe, in Photoshop with lasso tool and bucket fill with no anti-aliasing without like smoothing, if you can call it that. And the Clip Studio has some kind of automated methods for that, but I didn't look at that. And well, some very successful artists just use assistants for that, because, well, just kinda filling the page. And it's like a coloring book pretty much. You just coloring inside the lines with flat color. It's very easy task mostly. That's why I kinda like it sometimes. Just switch your brain off and just go for it. But sometimes you kinda get too much into it and switch your brain off too much and just start coloring wrong stuff, wrong colors. Which also happens with inks. Like, as you can see here, I had very detailed sketch, so I just kinda went sometimes just tracing my sketch, and I forgot to trace some of it. But I kinda, some of it I really like how it ended up, just very dynamic lines. Here, for example, like he's squinting here, he's like really angry. She asked him a question that she's kinda onto something. I don't know, should I maybe, I still have the text layer here, it's just hidden. I usually delete it kinda after I do inks. Like, I keep it while inks aren't done, because I need like the a reminder what they're saying, just visually right in front of me, without, so I don't need to look at script. Like, I don't need to just take my eyes from the page, so I can just be kind of in the flow. But once it's done, I don't really need text. Like, coloring doesn't really need to be precise with like words, because like I needed to be very specific with facial expressions, is what they're saying. Like, what are they saying? Is it like sarcastic? Is it like angry? Is it with some sort of like contempt, disgust, or whatever? And once it's done, all I need is a facial expression, and I can just go from there. But I didn't delete text right now, because I'm not as kinda limited with layers yet. I will get there, I guess, once I'm like get to backgrounds or like shading maybe. So once the flat colors are done, then kinda they can be adjusted to the scene. Like, for my full color stuff, I was just adding some low opacity colored layer on top of it, just to kind of add the tint of our ambient light. Like, for example, if the characters are like outside during I don't know, sunset, we have some like orange or red on top of it. If they're like during the day, it's kind of bluish, or maybe if the if you go for some stylized coloring, not like realistic one, it can be anything. Like I did some like green sky, for example, for some chapters. It was it looked nice, it was very atmospheric. Even though it's not realistic, like it's comics, you don't have to go realistic. It's more about like atmosphere and mood and vibes really, than to make it look ultra realistic. Like, if you want realistic stuff, like, use AI, I guess. I don't know. This is more interesting, I think, to kinda experiment with it a little bit. I really like some experimental coloring, and like in this comic where I don't even use full color, when this is more of a limited palette, I don't even need to tint all of this all that much. I mean, I will kind of push it to blue from like this neutral gray, just for visual. It just looks better, because like neutral gray on blue background will look warm color, just relatively, and I want to keep it all kind of cool here, again just for consistency. I forgot to color her hand. Is it the same color? Yes. I really like this hand position, and funny enough, I drew this without reference. And, I mean, it's not hard, but I kind of like how it looks. This little hand reaching. Like here, I will be doing kind of gradient, so I don't want to detail their like lower halves, because they will grab attention from this lady's face, and I kind of want to fade them into, well, into nothing. But for now I'm just flattening. It's like, again, as I said, mindless process, and I don't want to spend too much time on this fade right now. I will be, once flats are done, I will edit them. What was the color of her? Oh, the same. Nice. Also didn't finish this color. Sometimes I see some comic creators just eyeball the local colors, or they like sample it from previous pages, and I mean that's also valid, but I think it's kind of takes longer. And also, if you like shade it on top of it, then it already changed, and if you grab already kind of tinted color and use it as your local, and then when you draw the next page you will tint it again in your coloring, and it will keep changing it, and you'll also lose consistency on that. But again, like, everybody uses different process, and I think it's mostly because a lot of webcomic artists, like specifically kind of self-taught, don't have kind of standard pipeline to do stuff, and they just kind of invent the wheel every time from zero, and well, that's sometimes it leads to some unique stylistic choices, and sometimes it just leads to inconsistency. Guess that's kind of depends on how, if the person pays attention to like their previous work or not. What color should that be? Probably this is fine. I really don't like drawing the inside of the mouse, it's just gross. But well, sometimes you have to. And yeah, if you by any chance watched some previous live streams, music today is a bit more aggressive, because, well, this scene is a little bit less chill, I would say. But I don't know, maybe I went a little bit too far. As always, the music creator is in the description. It's really cool channel, check it out, there is a lot of music there. And it's kind of nice that it is copyright free, so pretty much anyone can use it, and I hear it a lot like other people stuff just because they can use it. And I think it's nice. I respect very much everyone who does like just free stuff, like Creative Commons and public domain especially, but like public domain it's kinda maybe too much sometimes, like you give control over your creation to like some random people. It's kinda stops being yours, but well, Creative Commons is a good solution in this case. So yeah, I have more. Anyway, also here, do I have it? No. Okay. This part is also the same color. And like when I'm drawing the same characters for like 100th time, I remember all this. But like this lady is just in this chapter and she'll be gone soon. Kinda, not like soon, but we won't see her after this chapter, so I don't really need to memorize her too hard. And like for example, Irius, the cleric, I can color just without looking at anything because I just remember. Well, first of all, I did a lot of concept art for him before even starting this comic, and also I drew him a lot in the comics, so I don't need to look at any references to just do him. Even like in this chapter, it's the first time we see him in his coat or robe or whatever it is, like this long stuff over his like normal fighting uniform. And it's pretty easy to also remember how it goes. Well, it's the same, almost the same as standard, this coat, like the priestess had the similar stuff. It just has like slits on the sides for easier movement in the fight. Not that he has any intention to fight in his like basically it's dress uniform, you wouldn't fight in it, but who knows, sometimes you have to. So yeah, this is an annoying but necessary process. So coloring is kind of like that. I mean, probably for this comic, for limited palette and stuff, I don't really need flats. I can just go like right away into shading, maybe. Like grab a pencil and just do like the texture to look right away, instead of first doing this, then kinda adding texture on top of it, but I don't know. I guess I kinda used to doing flats. And also it helps me, I usually do it in the order that like after flats I do backgrounds, and like it kind of helps to have characters already in place and knowing which parts are like in which parts I don't have to draw background, for example, because it's under the characters. And also to keep like the correct perspective if I'm using it, and coloring stuff. Shadows from the characters. It's usually useful to have that. And also I can't, for example, shade characters right away without background, because I need to see where the well, where everything is, where is my light source, where is like objects that cast shadows and stuff. Yet again, the part of the image where I forgot to do all the inks. Also, her skirt has a lot of these polka dots, and her, like, again, patterns that I didn't add, like she has a knitted sweater. That's like, you can't really see it, but I'm kinda adding texture to it, and her insides of her coat has this pattern with little butterflies. So I kinda like adding patterns, but it is also a pain to draw too much of it. But thankfully, again, the girl also won't be here for too long, so I can afford doing all that. Here, well, I guess I'll do that, but I will not be detailing her skirt because it will fade into just nothing. Maybe I'll add some dots. Yeah, I said I won't, and I'm doing it. I will kinda delete that. I also need to check where do I have his facial hair. Just kinda to indicate that he has this like evening shadow. Okay. Yeah, I forgot the another element that has the same color. It's the girl's what do you call it, leggings. And also the gemstone is the same color. No, it's not the same color. It is the that light gray that I use for the skin tone for these two. And I also use the same for gemstone. Also, if you read the second chapter, you may have remembered that Irus had some scratches on his face, and the priestess told him to go fix that, to get help from like healers and heal his face, and he even suggested to do it himself, but he declined, and he is now just kind of going with scratched face because he likes it, I guess. I mean, priestess kind of called him out on that, like that he likes scars. Kind of does. Just kind of to show off, like, look, I survived that. Because like normally if the shadow hits you, you kind of might not survive. But he keeps all his scars because like, yo, I survived that. Even though he's not a healer. But if he could heal, he probably wouldn't have scars. Like normally all these people can heal themselves and don't have scars at all, even after some very... I mean, if it's like very serious injuries, then there probably will be some sort of scarring. If it's like super serious and the person can't heal themselves right away because they just don't have enough like energy, then by the time like they are helped, there might be some scar, but they can also like kind of do some cosmetic stuff and heal that. So ultimately all this scarring is kind of removable in this setting if you wish to, and then if you have like access to strong healers who have time for you. So like if you're just normal person, you'll have to wait like in the queue for maybe a couple years. I think, yeah, that wasn't correct. This one is dark and the sleeve itself is lighter, and also her pants is also the same light gray. Oh well. What should I do? Guess I'll finish the light gray first and then switch to dark gray, just so I don't forget stuff. Also about flats, so it is some sort of maybe a job opportunity for some people who want to work in comics, but well, maybe can't find like more skilled work like pencils or inks or whatever. Many like professional artists need people to flat their stuff, just to do these flat colors to save time, because as you can see it takes a lot of time, but it's not really that hard to do and doesn't require pretty much any artistic skill, I would say, especially if you do it with like lasso tool. It's just kind of more mechanical process, and this stuff is often automated to some degree. There is even like fully automated stuff when you just load your image into it and it kind of gives you flats, but it's usually kind of shit flats. It just colors every element different color, so it kind of looks for where like the lines work like borders. So like this part, for example, is like one big area with no like no breaks, so it will color it the same colors, and like the next one will be like completely different color, even though like you can see there's two areas with the same color because it's the same like kind of part of the, it's like sort of what's called turtleneck thingy. But automated stuff would usually color it different colors because, well, it doesn't know what is it you're trying to do. As many like automated instruments, like so-called AI art generation stuff, they don't know what you're doing, they don't understand, and they since they can't comprehend stuff because they lack intelligence. It probably should be darker. They will not do a good job, but well, maybe it will evolve. But it won't be ideal anyway. There's just no way to explain to the machine that like this part of the image is the color of this coat that this character wears for like 10 pages, so it's the same color, it should be the same color. But maybe someday it will learn to keep consistency, but for now it's more of like a human feature. So you, if you like don't want to flat yourself, you would most likely hire somebody, if you can afford it, of course. than to feed it into a machine, because otherwise you'll spend more time fixing what the machine gave you than flattening it yourself. So I should also color the kid, kind of wait for the mother, and kid requires our attention. Kid is sad because kid was having fun, even though she was kinda given sort of a lecture on some religious stuff, but she was kinda into it because she was seeing some miracles. But her mother wasn't pleased with that, so now kid is kinda sad. Anyway, also with some automated flattening, like line art like mine here, for example, might create some problems for the machine, because as you can see, not every gap is closed. So it will, like if you remember the paint bucket in Photoshop, it's kinda, now it's, I think, has some sort of gap closing option, but maybe it doesn't actually. Maybe it still does that. I haven't done it in a while in Photoshop. I only use Photoshop for like initial layout and for lettering. I don't color in Photoshop at all, and especially don't draw there. But it wouldn't be really feasible to use it for this type of line art. I kinda like it. It's very like quick strokes. I prefer that style. Well, first of all, it kinda negates the hand tremors, which is good. So if you just do fast strokes, it's kinda just inertia keeps it more or less straight, or whatever form, whatever shape you want it to keep without like wobbling all over the place. And like if you also have some sort of unsteady hand, it might be a good idea to just draw really like fast strokes. And digitally it's easier to do, obviously, because if like your stroke went somewhere where you didn't intend it to go, you can always just Ctrl-Z it. And I mean, undo. I guess if you just drawing on tablets, you don't know what Ctrl-Z is, but I think everybody knows that. I don't know, like my computer knowledge might be a bit outdated. I don't know how like modern stuff works, or like Apple stuff. The only Apple product I own is this here iPad, and that's it, and I'm kind of fine with that. You can't sail 7 seas on Apple products, and sometimes you want to or have to, if you understand what I mean. What was I talking about? Yeah, line art, right? The machine would not understand if the certain object is like just one color, if your line art isn't like isn't closing gaps. Like for example here it's not closed, and I don't intend to. I think it's kind of more it looks messy on this this zoomed in, but like it's so zoomed, I don't know, it's like on paper, if it ever will be on paper, it will be like this size maybe. and on mobile, on which many people read it, it's like this tiny, you won't see any of like imperfections, and I don't even consider it imperfection. I think this more chaotic line art is actually kind of more alive than like ideally perfectly lined up, same line weight, and like everything is very neat, I would say. It's kind of more alive. Like in my previous comic, I went for more like polished look, but here I wanted to be really, I wanted to be very obvious that it was hand drawn, and just if it has some like normal human errors, it reads as human created and not like generated stuff that doesn't understand what it does. So now I need blue accents, so I will remove this blue background. I was using it mostly for, like, as you can see on gray, it's not really readable all that much, so I'll go for blue. It's only on girl, like only girl has blue accents. Oops, too big. Like mother doesn't have any blue or any colored elements, she is all gray, which is purposefully so. She doesn't have any color in her because like she's very unhappy, as we learn here. Not like in this batch of pages, but like, I mean, they already kind of give a hint, because like normally you wouldn't start the argument on train with a random person unless you're like deeply unhappy with your life and want to lash out on others. Like the kid has this blue color that is the main color for this scene, and also for like characters it works like accent color. And the cleric has red because he's a hunter, he murders people. So it's very like very basic symbolism, if you can call it that, because it's like it's obvious, absolutely obvious for even if you don't pay much attention to anything that's going on. Like, and again, I'm kind of not trying to make it subtle. I want it to be very, very in the face, because I kind of, the main character here isn't like a hero, isn't like a good guy, and I wanted to be perfectly clear from pretty much very beginning. Like it was already kinda, I hope, hinted in the first chapter when he just killed a guy and stepped over his corpse and just into the blood and just went away without like caring much. But there will be more moments like this that like show that he isn't just this stereotypical hero who fights monsters and he's like a good guy secretly on the inside. He's not. He's pretty much a villain here. Not like villain, but like he's not a good guy. Okay, not much of the girl here. Now on to the... yeah, coloring him is kinda hard. I should probably also remove sketch from... I will keep the sketch for like backgrounds. As you can see, I haven't done them yet. But I will remove it from characters just so it doesn't distract me too much. I prefer to ink characters and backgrounds separately, and same for like flats. It's usually like a good practice to keep flats separately for backgrounds, if you do flats for backgrounds, and for characters just for, well, speed. And also if you use flats as a clipping mask for later shading, it's really saves a ton of time, because you don't need to like delete unnecessary stuff or like use masks or whatever. Just clipping mask is a really good idea. So what's here? Don't really need sketch here at all, I think. Just kinda here to remind me that I need to fade them, but kinda remember that. Anyway, let's color this dude. Coloring him is kinda hard because he has a lot of jet black elements, and I need to separate certain elements from that, so he doesn't become just black blob with no like features. Like all of this mess, like how should I... It's like when I'm drawing him, I'm not really thinking about how I'm going to color him. And that's a problem. I need to find some maybe a more efficient way to color him, because it's usually what kind of stops me from doing it right away after inks. I'm just imagining how hard it will be to flat him, and I'm just maybe later, and that's not really efficient way to do that, but I haven't come up with any better solution. I mean, I will probably once I did him like 100 times. Right now it's like less than 100 yet. Let's see. So I'll do his like gray hair first. That's like gray, how do you call it? Temples, right? And then I'll use textured brush for like more detailed work. Like I kinda like once I'm done with flats, like with yeah, with flats, I guess. I go on the same layer with textured brush and add some details to hair, and it is kinda relaxing and nice. But the initial process is really annoying. Like right here, I'll need to do some transition from like black to gray. Should probably also have it here. I don't know. I don't need that much gray here, just a few strands, but I'll get there eventually. Like this one also won't be all gray. It will be a mix of black, gray and white. But to get there, I first need to block it out. Okay, now black. This isn't black, this is dark blue in this particular case, because I'm kinda... I'm preserving fully 100% black for monsters and for like technical elements, for like borders, text and and for monster effects, but everything else that is supposed to be black is kinda a bit lightened into some other color. And I also use it for inks. I don't know if it will be visible on the screen, but a little bit. So I have the separate layer on top of everything, other than noise. I have no noise texture over everything. It's very subtle, but like I kinda like it. So this is just that light blue color on the lighten mode. Photoshop also has it, and I think Clip Studio also has it. So it basically what it does, it takes the dark, whatever is darker than this color becomes this color. It's kind of bit more complex than that, but not much. The effect is like that. Actually, you know what? I first go with red. I prefer to go with red first. Mostly because the lines are the same color. I won't be able to see it, and I think YouTube doesn't want to. Yeah. Okay. So I'll do this red parts for his uniform. Which one? This one is red, probably. And that one. Yeah. Yeah, I guess like this. I will sew this one, just so it's more of it. This is red, and this is red. Also fade this part a little bit later. For some reason I have a lot of missed spots in her hair. Is it all? It's kind of close in value, I think, between this, like blue. Is it though? Let me check. So in value it's 35, and this one is no. Interesting. For some reason I kind of can't see much difference. Maybe it's because on the opposite they're too contrasted between each other. I can't see the border very well. They kind of clash a little bit. Also this red with this blue, it's so different that I see as a bit of this is gross. Yeah, you can even see it on the screen, on the camera and on the screen. This is just this gross edge, just maybe it's not the best background for this type of flats, but oh well. I will use it later for like background stuff. Actually, you know what? Now it does look shitty. Oh well. I'll fix it real quick. Just close the gap so it isn't so obvious, and also another mid spot in her hair. Like why? Okay, so more red spots. Yes, a lot of them. It's yes, it's correct layer. How should I approach this? I guess like this, you know. Yeah, and now we can do black now. the thing that I was stolen on. As you can see, it immediately it's all the details on his hair, other than those that I colorized before. It's just all same blob of black, like dark blue but black. It does read like black because it's the darkest part of the image, aside from, again, technical stuff. So what I usually do is I go with a bigger brush just to cover most of it, and then go with smaller to do the like borders, edges, whatever. It's just faster this way. And yeah, I covered this line because I don't like it. All of this is black. It's his leg, right? Yeah. That's his other leg and some parts of his kinda uniform, and that's it. Okay, cool. And like once I'm done with it, it will look nice, but like doing this particular part of flats, it's just so annoying. And also I need to like keep remembering which part is which, because he has a lot of overlapping, like just layers. Unlike like normal people who wears more or less normal clothes, even though I went a little bit kinda stylized it to make it a bit less like our current fashion, I would say. Still, they kind of look normal-ish, but clerics, well, they should look very odd. That's like the same as in real life. They also look kind of out of place in their ceremonial stuff, because I guess they're too full of themselves and want to look fancy and important. You might wonder why I'm drawing a comic about like some religious person if I don't like religion as it is. Well, you can probably guess why. And it's also kind of interesting to kind of character study of fanatic, because like I don't understand them very much, but they make interesting characters nonetheless. Like you can't understand why one would choose this sort of worldview, but the worldview itself and how it affects them later on is pretty straightforward and not that hard to write, I would say. I kinda like characters like this, like just to read them, just to see the whole mess of the stuff they do and their reasoning for that, and just it makes for good villains usually. And well, technically Irius isn't a villain here, but kinda acts like one sometimes. And I think it's kinda interesting to look at it. Okay, I guess I need a stretch or something. Takes a while, sadly. All this like flats. It's not even the whole episode. I have like 2 more pages in separate file. And yeah, it may seem to some as it's very small episodes, but like I prefer quality or quantity. And also, as you can see, I'm not very efficient. But you know what? I think this line is out of place. It seems like his hand is too... his arm is too thin, which shouldn't be, so I'll just kinda remove that line and that's it. Oops. Oh boy. Okay, what should I do with this one? Guess I'll leave it for now. I just need to remember to fix it later with texture brush. But I guess I will, even if I forget to do it now, once I move to shading, it will jump into my eyeballs immediately. And I'll fix that. Like, I prefer not to leave like small details unfinished, because I will completely forget about them. But like something this obvious is pretty safe. Famous last words, I guess. No, I mean, I might forget some stuff, but not this. This is too obvious for me to miss. And I also will be... the thing that I might forget actually is his facial hair, if you can call it that. It's not yet beard, but it's like the fetus of a beard, I guess. I mean, I explained it the last stream, I don't need to repeat myself, I guess. Also, I think I need to kinda clean my iPad again. It kinda lost its coat or coating, whatever you call it, like the something. There was something on the glass with that was like preventing it from getting dirty. Kinda preventing it. Well, it wasn't like super protective, but right now it's all of it worn off. And I need to clean it like on a daily, several times a day, or else it became just a mess. It served me well, I guess, and it just will be harder to use with each passing day, but oh well. And it's a good, still very good instrument, so like if you want to draw an iPad but it's like super expensive, just look for this one. It's like 10.5 inches, 2017 model iPad Pro with first gen Apple Pencil. Like, you can find it used, I guess, and shouldn't be as criminally expensive as like later models. I hope, at least. I haven't checked what the price is right now on this thing. Like on this thing. I looked once on like latest one and it was depressing. And like something like I used to look at Wacom screen tablets before like drawing on iPad became this good. And I was like sure that I will never can be able to draw on screen tablet because it's like expensive as it's just unbelievably expensive. Then there are like some other models started to show up, like Huyon and what else, HP and some other stuff, but like they're kind of, I don't know, probably good. I kind of tried some, don't remember what it was, some Huyon, whatever it was, model. It was laggy, very laggy. What I like about iPad is that you don't have pencil lag at all. Like, I mean, it's a little bit lagging. It wasn't before, I guess, like when I just started. Maybe I'm noticing it better now. I don't know, when I just started there was no lag at all. But again, I wasn't... No, I was using it on big files, so I don't know, maybe it's just kind of slowing down a little bit with age and just being worn out a little bit, but even so, it's like almost no lag, like you can't really notice it that much. So yeah, like one thing that I really dislike about even pretty much any drawing screen tablet is lag. Even not screen tablet, even any tablet that lags when you draw, it just really throws you off from drawing. It kind of kills the flow, I guess. Yeah, this thing does it just fine. I mean, in Procreate at least. Like, I tried Fresco when it was like in just came out and it was like in free trial. It was a bit laggy, on the same equipment, but there was some fancy stuff with watercolor brushes and stuff going on, so maybe it was the reason why. And I haven't touched Fresco since, because it's paid, right? It was, at least it was announced that it is normally like paid for subscription. I mean, like everything is paid on this stuff, but I prefer not to use subscription model for anything. Like, I prefer one-time buy. There is this big shitstorm about Clip Studio being subscription based, and like even if you buy it, Clip Studio's second version, recent one, even if you like buy it on one-time model, you cannot use it because you need internet for that, and without internet it just says that you don't own the license and you can go do something with yourself, you know what I mean, which is annoying. And like the fact that Clip Studio even have some subscription. Like, I tried it on iPad when it had like a few months, I think, free trial again with no subscription, but then it kind of dies and you need to pay like $10 a month, or maybe it's even more now, because I kind of liked the Adobe model. And nah, I'm not doing that. So I'll need to fade him without fading her. It will be annoying, but it will be probably for future me, I guess. I first need to finish these flats and then start to like fading it. I'll do his hair first, I think. His elbow. I'm kinda eyeballing elbows. I don't really reference them, so maybe it's not quite anatomically correct in this particular position, but I don't care. It looks like an elbow, so good enough. So is it all? Yeah, I can move to his hair. Okay, and Apple Pencil says that it's dying. It's fine, it's fine. So hair details. No, I need black for that. I mean, not black, but like pseudo black. So like this kind of fades into. It still looks like garbage. I don't know. I'll do part of it black, I guess, and just parts of it. Really, not much of it white. Not white. It's like gray. And here, the opposite. I need more black here, because he's not completely like going gray. He's not that old yet. But and I also need white here, so it's like some of it is white, but not all of it. Some of this is white. Oops, maybe like this, and also just for some shine. Oops, there was some inking, I guess. Yeah. Kinda like it. Kinda. Also should probably... No, it's wrong layer. Anyway, here we will again maybe bigger brush. With some texture here. Maybe it wasn't a good idea. Oh well, I'm doing it anyway. Sorry about that. I probably need to drink some water actually. Water is important. This looks stupid. Also, I think I need to make his eyebrows a little bit more. Nah, kinda liked that they are kinda scratchy and it was more movement here. Maybe I'll do this instead. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's better. Add some white in there. Good enough. Here, also some white. And I guess I'll finish once my Apple Pencil dies from hunger. Because, well, obviously you can't use it while it's charging. It's also, since it's like the older model, it doesn't charge like the recent ones when you just kind of park it on top of just on the edge. You need to stick it perpendicularly to your where your port is. So you can't charge your iPad and your Apple Pencil at once unless you use some separate adapter or something that you need to buy separately, because it's, you know, it's Apple. It loves to sell you stuff that is necessary to your other stuff to work, but it's for some reason it's separate and you need to pay more for that. But that's why I don't like Apple. Another reason, like, I prefer more honest models. Like when you buy something new, like you can use it right away without all this dances. I mean, you can, but it's just very inconvenient. I've liked some reason. I guess his hair looks too orderly. It needs to be more chaotic. He's very... It's just all over the place. It should be all over the place, like this. I don't know. Probably should also make this one more obvious. Like, I color them different colors all the time, like white or black or whatever, stuff that hangs over his face, but it's not like really. It's local color, I'd say. It's more of just for contrast there. So it's not that it's actually white or actually black. It's whatever color, whatever light is falling on it. It's just there to be contrasted with whatever background is there. And sometimes it can be actually white or actually black, it doesn't matter. Because he has a lot of it and it changes which ones are hanging from his face, depending on how he moves his head or like some other circumstances. It might be annoying and a lot of work, but in action scenes it's really kind of pays off, because it is a really good way to show his movement. Like, he has some hanging elements on his uniform for the same reason, just to show where he is moving. Like in animation and like motion pictures and whatnot, you can easily convey motion by, well, motion, but on the static sequential art you need some elements kind of following the motion to show it. So if he is like moving his head, like he's rotating his head, like his hair will flow like in a certain direction to show the direction of it, direction of his movement. And that's why I am using this stuff. Why he has so much just unnecessary, like from maybe a functional standpoint, like he does need all this stuff on his uniform, like or is it, you can't really see it here, but he has like stuff like the lower part of his jacket, I think, like the it kind of hangs to his knees, but I don't know how to explain it without showing it necessarily. The point is, like, he doesn't need it for his job, but it looks cool and it helps to convey motion in static pictures. So that's why they're there. Like, in-world explanation is that it looks cool and it's kind of some ceremonial significance or whatever. So it's not just plain black swimsuit or whatever. But it kind of looks more interesting visually, and not like regular people clothe themselves. And from technical standpoint, it's for conveying motion in sequential art. So, well, how do I do that? I guess I'll just try to kinda maybe erase it, maybe kinda like kinda want to get the very smooth transition. And same for inks. But the problem is I need kind of to blend these flats maybe a little bit, so it's not as obvious under inks, and also maybe blend this a little bit. Yeah, it works. It works just fine. Okay, how does it look on maybe a little bit more. This one maybe a little bit more. I will be editing it throughout, because until I have like the background finished, I won't be able to tell what needs more editing, I guess. Now for him, well, good enough. I'll try to clean it a little bit. Yeah, this edge, as you can see, it also creates an edge, but that's fixable. I'll just delete it later. Right now I kind of need to fade him a little bit. Also need bigger brush probably for this. Oops, not this direction. It should all go vertically. Of course, I will fade the inks too. And here it doesn't look that bad actually. I kinda like it. Maybe a little bit more. And now I just need to fix this lower part and maybe blend it a little bit. Oops, no, I need just this charcoal eraser, just kind of go a little bit more into this. And I also need to blend all of that. It's not bad. Then delete maybe more. This one a little bit more, and yeah, it's good. Now for inks, smaller brush. Yeah, this one also need to be fixed. Like, I don't want to have just the hard edge anywhere. It just needs to be slowly disappearing. Guess I'll use this brush. Oops, no, it's too big. And maybe like this. And I need to blend it a little bit. Just a little bit, so it's not as obvious. Yeah, I think it's fine. Now a little bit here. Just a little bit. Again. Then edge. Something like that. And yeah, they're kind of fading. Need to remove sketch, it kind of throws me. Okay. A little bit more and I'm done with this, and I think I will be done with stream also. I was hoping to also do some backgrounds a little bit, but I don't think I will. Not today. Well, first of all, I need to charge my pencil for starters. And I'm kind of tired. I guess I need a break a little bit and I will continue, but off stream, I guess. Yeah, that's about it. Next one will be... Actually, I don't know what will be the next one, because by the next one I will not have this stuff. I don't know, maybe something traditional for change. Maybe some sketchbook stuff. Actually, I wanted for some time do more of a sketch like doodles with markers and maybe some kind of watercolor stuff, so it's easier to show. Actually, I have a bunch of this watercolor markers like this. They have kind of one side is kind of brush tip and the other is just normal marker point. So this stuff is watercolor, water soluble, so I can color with them and then kind of blend a little bit with water if I want to. So I kind of wanted to stream a bit of sketching what I do with them. It's usually just simple doodles. Maybe I'll show some of it actually, just so you know what you're getting yourself into. Well, this one isn't blended, but like this was like one of the Irius concepts. It has a bit of a different mode of weaponry. I might use it later. Not for him though. Maybe for him, I don't know. What else? What else? Do I have anything? Well, that's a spoiler. Oh boy, that's a spoiler. Okay, I can show that. That's a spoiler too. Oh my god, do I have anything not spoilery? Yeah, also some other concept art for him. So it's that sort of stuff. I also draw some other subjects, but it just so happens that I find this lately. Like I have some earlier stuff that I don't particularly like. I don't want to show necessarily. Like there was this, or maybe like this jewel. Really like that sketch. Some more, some other characters that I will do later. Some other this drawing also no sphere spoiler, I guess. Not particular spoiler. So yeah, that sort of stuff. Oh, there's Kinin, also from Noosphere. So yeah, that sort of stuff. And I think I want to maybe doodle some stuff like that on stream. So next one will be about that, probably. I mean, if by some miracle I'll get for some streamable part of the next episode to the next stream, then maybe, but unlikely. So that's about it. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye.